Hello everyone, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, and this is the fourth episode I am recording today. So basically, this is probably going to be my last one for today. Uh, yeah. Frankly, I just really want to get Lily's route done. Like, I just want to get this game 100%. And, right now, this is really the best time I can play for long stretches of time. So that's why I'm doing this. So, yeah. Anyways, so let's continue, shall we? The moment the bell rings out, a collective sigh of relief comes from everyone. Much of the morning's been taken up by a droning lecture on the stoichiometry, a topic enti- entirely unbefitting of the insufferable heat permeating the classroom. Knowing that attempting to teach anything more would be an excuse in futility, Mutuo gives up and begins clearing the teaching materials from his desk for the day. As meaningless banter starts filling the classroom, I notice Hanako giving up and coming to my desk. She's been a lot less withdrawn lately, something which gives me a small measure of satisfaction. Hello, Azao. Hey, want to go pick up Lily then? It's close to the time when she need to get going if she's gonna make the flight. About that. She said she might be held up a bit by her classmates. I suppose that makes sense. Her class usually gets off a little earlier than ours, so Lily would normally just have to come to our classroom. Her class must be sending her off. Well, never mind. We can wait just outside of her classroom for once, right? She gives a small giggle before nodding, the two of us taking our things and leaving for 3-2's classroom. When we reach our destination, I stop in idle amusement at the scene inside. One of the shorter girls from the class has Lily wrapped up in an enthusiastic hug, her head no higher than Lily's chin. Her other friends, of which there are several, are gathered around her as well. Lily simply smiles kindly and hugs her back. I guess Lily must be pretty popular. Compared to Shizune's harsh but fair dictatorship of 3-3, Lily seems more like a mother figure for 3-2, to say nothing of her height and looks. Kenji's pointedly cool demeanor as he packs up his things at a seat in the back corner of the classroom is expected. He's no doubt far from a fan of the fuss being made about Lily's leaving. Looking beside me and seeing Hanako following my gaze, I decide to finally enter the room. Afternoon, Lily. It's just me and Hanako. Hanako withers noticeably when exposed to the din being made around Lily. Try as she might, I doubt she'll ever completely get over her social anxiety. Hello. Lily manages to work out our position reasonably well, her classmate detaching herself without a second word. A look of sight exasperation is written on Lily's face, though I can't exactly say I blame her. Hello, Hazao, Hanako. Do we have much time before the flight leaves? I give a quick glance at my watch. Taking the trip to the airport into account, there's a good 10, maybe 15 minutes left, while still allowing for contingencies. Yeah, we still have a few minutes to kill. I wouldn't worry about missing it yet. Is this Hanako? Uh-oh, I think we just inadvertently become entangled in Lily's social web. The girl is probably part of the legally blind faction of the class like Kenji, given her almost window pane-like spectacles. Her short, roughly cut hair gives her a look that fits her excitable expression. Hello. She takes Hanako's hand and pulls it up and down enthusiastically. I don't really get how girls can be social to someone they only know as the friend of a friend. While Hanako exchanges nervous greetings, I look around the room for my short, overdressed next-door neighbor. Try as I might, he seems to have slipped out of the classroom without anyone noticing. For a moment, I try to think of possible career paths that could reasonably benefit from a single skill, before putting my mind to more pertinent matters. Lily seems pleased, if somewhat guarded about the enthusiasm Hanako suddenly excited from those around her. She might not see it, but Hanako is much less panicked about the affair than I'd anticipated. Shuffling my way through the gaggle of classmates, I eventually managed to reach her. Don't worry, Hanako's fine. Thank you. I thought you might be overwhelmed by them. Don't worry, we'll be gentle. Uh-huh. Both of us grimace in unison. Hanako's nervous grin stays plastered on her face as another couple of girls moves in to meet her. It's kind of amazing that even just a month ago, she'd never been able to cope with a situation such as this. Even when I first met her, the two of us completely alone, she sprinted from the library. So, got everything you need? It's all packed. I just have to go by my room to pick it up on the way. And Hanako and I need to change. I guess we better get going then, Hanako. Hanako's head flicks up towards us in a flash, her face rather unmistakably appreciating the chance to extricate herself from the small group gathered around her. They're coming. The long taxi ride to the airport is surprisingly pleasant, despite the three of us being rather squashed together to fit in the small back seat. On the other hand, maybe despite isn't the right word. Lily pays the fare to the driver as we file out, Hanako's eyes flittering left and right. Thankfully, there aren't too many people around, most of them being inside the main building rather than milling around outside. It isn't hard to spot Akira and Hideki leaning against a fence while talking to pass the time. A large black travel bag, complete with wheels and travel handle, leans against the fence alongside them. Hideki's the first to notice us, pointing us out to Akira, who gives an overenthusiastic wave. Hey! I grab Lily's travel bag for her as we go to meet the two, earning a nod of appreciation. I've got all my stuff here. You got yours, plane ticket as well? Don't worry, I have everything. You? Yep, all ready to go. Not without some problems along the way, I might add. The snide remark has its head roughly dragged around by a firmly clamped-on hand. Yeah, I just sort of forgot it's in my trousers pocket. Trousers that I put in the wash. Oh no. Don't worry. Did you know you can print out tickets if you order online nowadays? It's pretty cool. That sounds wrong. Hideki's pained expression says this wasn't a solution found quickly. It could have been worse, I guess. Uh-huh. Well, we better start off then. Check-in should be ready by now. Ah, you're right. There's a certain amount of wistfulness in both their voices, to say nothing of the people left behind. Meeting their family again after all these years would be big for them. Lily. Hanako wraps Lily in a gentle hug to say goodbye, one which is warmly reciprocated. Lily and I share a brief hug afterward, each of us saying our goodbyes. Beside us, Akira and Hideki break off from a small hug and a word or two between them. It would probably look quite nice if not for the almost comical height difference between the two. Lily takes a hold of her sister's arm. Once all that needs to be said and farewells is said, the two walking past the huge glass doors. Goodbye, Hazao, Hanako. See ya, don't do anything stupid, shorty. We wave at them until they disappear from sight in the throng of people moving about inside. And then, we're alone. Well, that's that. I turn to see Hideki, already beginning to walk off. See ya. He throws a hand into the air in a manner I'd expect of Akira. In the end, it's just Hanako and me left standing outside. I rest my hand on her shoulder. She absent-mindedly gazes towards the front doors of the building, as if she might catch a glimpse of either of the two before they disappear. Don't worry, the time will pass fast. She hesitates for a moment, but eventually nods. With the scorching heat of the summer sun beaming down on us, we make our way to the nearby bus stop. It's strange, really. Just when I'd begun to see Lily differently, she leaves on what almost feels like a pilgrimage to the past. In a way, though, that's just what I've been doing since coming to Yamaku. As much as I may reflect on everything that's happened to me, I really am hardly unique. Everyone has their own circumstances and separate paths to get where they are now. Yet I still can't really work out how I should proceed. My life may have practically been reset, and I still can't find anything that satisfactorily fills the hole I still feel in myself. Maybe Lily's leaving will be a good thing for me. Without her to lean on, I'll need to do more for myself. I'll have to be there for Hanako as well. It feels strange to have so much changing so quickly after my months in that hospital that seemed to exist so separately from reality, but that's all the more reason for me to keep focused. I can't let any opportunity slip out of my fingers in an attempt to rebuild my life. Act 3. Present. Does it mean Act 4's future? Okay. I rest my chin on my hand as I absent-mindedly look out the window. Yet another of Mutuo's lectures droning on, as if it were endless. The summer sky is almost alluring in its bright cerulean splendor. Only the odd passing cloud breaks up the deep blue expanse. This feeling of longing is probably the outdoor side of me yearning to escape. Nakai, could you answer this? That side of me is lost to the past now, though. In that case, I think it would be better to use the "an" suffix. Correct. Moving on, the suffix for. As my attention towards Mutuo slips once again, I spot Misha giving me an enthusiastic thumbs up, and I nod at her to settle her down. It's been a handful of days since Lily left for Scotland, days which have passed relatively peacefully. Life largely continued as usual, in contrast to what I had expected. While thoughts of her have danced around on the edge of my mind since she left, present events managed to subdue them, at least for the time being. So I find myself idly chatting with Hanako, as usual, when lunchtime finally rolls by. Are the later ones in the series good as well? Not really, you're probably better off just sticking to the original. His later books don't live up to it, other than maybe God Emperor. Thanks, I wasn't really sure if... Is that like a reference to something? Like... 40k? Dune? I'm not entirely sure. Whatever. As Hanako steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typically businesslike manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune. Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and curtly returns a gesture to both of us. It's been a long while since I've really talked to either of them. For a while I thought they might be avoiding me, but I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning. Chichan says that Mutuo wants to see you sometime. Because of this statement, my face contorts, as if I'd just eaten spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. Join the science club now. Join the science club. What are you doing, Mutuo? I am going back in time to shift this back into Emmy's route so that you join the science club. I am joining CERN Hazal. I'm going to take control of the Hadron Collider. Anyone you'd think anyone would think you're in trouble, Hee-chan. You may not be aware of it, but you had the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence. Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. There was something I wanted to ask you, though. And what that might that be, Hee-chan? I have a feeling that's won't go over well, but here it goes. Is there any reason why you and Lily don't get along? It seems like even a little civility would help you both in your duties. Shizune's cold stare after Misha happily signs the words stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sure I see Hanako move back just a little. Thankfully, Shizune notices this and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune's arms begin to move. I would say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you have seemed to befriended Lily, she pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner. While we assume the same of her, I cannot call my own views on the matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were closer before than we are now. Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interrupting, then has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily, yet so secretly right in front of us, is slightly disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with thinly masked interest. As they finish their opaque conversation, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matter wasn't followed. Shichan says you should ask Lily about it, and she doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved. Well, I'll just have to ask her after she gets back. At least I got some information out of Shizune. The two having been on close terms means they weren't always at each other's throats, or at least not quite to this extent. I understand. Thanks anyway. With a nod and a farewell, the two break away and walk out the door, no doubt headed straight for the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose. Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. I can't say I blame her. I'll see you later then. Yeah, I'll meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins a trickle of students leaving the classroom. Nikai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner, he apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Evidently, I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face before giving an awkward, rather obviously acted chuckle. No need to feel guilty, you're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something. I've asked a few of the other students so far. That's something at least. For a moment I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So what do you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think of your progress in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I tried to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better at the test than I thought I would. That's a good answer. A correct one, too. I give a mental sigh of relief and dissatisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind after learning I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grade seemed utterly unimportant. Being utterly clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me. Once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What would you like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. I suppose the last year of high school is a time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I haven't really lent it much thought compared to my immediate situation. Catching on to my thinking, Mutuo speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided after all. Maybe pursue one of your talents. He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. I'd guess our grades in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens, no doubt pleased at the thought of a prize student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you to think on it, though. I will. Things are kinda settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, I've noticed that Ikazawa's attendance and grades have improved since you became friends. I'd like to thank you for that. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gives a chuckle, as awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful, misdirected choreography. Hold on, I was... Yeah, I did that, yeah. Keep getting spammed with emails and stuff. Sorry. You could say that having a general idea of who's whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching myself before he goes off on a tangent, he loudly coughs into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do, though. I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, as you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will, thanks. The brief talk ended. I take my leave. He goes back to fussing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lily, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. It's an idea so utterly irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in the present day, just as they've always been. So yeah. Walking through the library to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day. I arrived in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take my seat. It's a task made more difficult by the groups of students moving about and busily talking. Yeah! A hand pounds at my back hard a couple times, severely winding me. I could care less about the culprit as I focus my thoughts on my chest in the near automatic reaction. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steady, in and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. God damn it, Kenji. Hey man, are you okay? God damn it, don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably should have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing mainstream feminist fascist media. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So what have you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Sato and that other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it? Not even when you're bored? Really? Well, fine, point taken. Both of us stopped to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest them at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to the question you asked a couple weeks back, where Lily's non-Japanese half comes from, that is. Good man. It's Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland. Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it, do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilated. Passing out for a little while would probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. Let me save that. There you go. You know what? Let's hear him out. Let's humor him. I have no idea what that means. Enlighten me. I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen. Damn, this is the worst day ever. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy, soy-soaked rice. It only takes a full mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why, Didn't your mother ever tell you to not speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth, and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decide to get to the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. So as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in a place like that anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains? That's it? Lots and lots of grassy plains? And men in kilts? I'm not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that he'd notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. He gives a malevolent chuckle. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found a chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out his rambling for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirm that Lily is in the Mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do so otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No, damn, man. I do have some sense of self-preservation. But not dignity, or morals, or social standards. Anyway, I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit. He waves her in, and then the two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... Oh, I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess, this man is about average height, had a slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. It seems you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself, so dramatically that it looks comical. I can't tell whether it's intentional or not, and the fact makes me frown. This has important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them, and we're smart about what we do to this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Once he starts rambling into conspiracy theory, my juice suddenly becomes of much more importance. Only half listening on his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. Oh, Nakai? I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Mutuo. He's holding out to me a couple of the worksheets we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikozawa? I normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment, I briefly considered the possibility of it being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discard the idea, though. It's hard to think of him acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako has been absent float around my mind. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. That said, she might not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lily left, despite her at least appearing to be normal. I've suspected she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually, I come to Hanako's dormitory room. Its simple brown door separating us. Her room's position next to Lily's is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is briefly taken off guard by my presence. Hi? Okay, so... You know what? Let's keep it to myself. Right. Actually, I should save. There you go. Yeah. Let's keep it to myself. There you go. Sorry, don't mind me. I think the situation with Hanako should be kept as private as possible for her sake. I don't really know anything about what's happened to her, but my gut tells me it's not physical sickness that's befallen her. She doesn't need rumors about her going around. As much as it may pain me to think so, she'd likely prefer to keep her status as a strangely ignored member of the class over having people talk behind her back. Whatever. With that, she turns and walks down the hallway without a second thought. How rude. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Mutuo said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seemed just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Mucho wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get-well-soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. What is wrong with you? Okay, never mind. Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door after another of her unexplained absences from class. Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower. I thought it said swallowing. So swallowing my willpower. No, summoning my willpower. I decide to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll go get the nurse for you. Go away. What? It's hard to tell whether her tone's one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her? Even if she doesn't even want help. The message is clear enough. I can't just leave her like this, though. Just sitting in her room for days on end. Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationality is what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make matters worse. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk, looking for where I put that damned piece of paper. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her while in Scotland. I wrote it down. Now that I need it though, the damn thing is here. I probably should have entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. The fact the phone rings at all shows I've got the prefix for a call to Scotland, right at least. I've never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. Eventually, the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Brr, brr, Sato, brr. English? Suddenly find myself unprepared. I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Izao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. You must be one of Lily's friends in school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak with you, Miss Sato. It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little overenthusiastic given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. One thing I did remember to check before was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. You're really not a morning person, are you? I don't need you making fun of it as well. It takes me a measure of restraint not to laugh at her pained groan, poor girl. How are you doing over there then? Bar the mornings? It's been enjoyable. After not meeting them for so long, just having a meal together with my parents is nice. Though the pool and the sheer size of the house might have something to do with that as well. Even if they're not in Japan, the way it sounds, her family must be pretty wealthy to live so luxuriously. Are things alright with you and Hanako? Damn, I was hoping that wouldn't be brought up quite so quickly. I take a moment to try and sort out exactly how to describe the situation without causing her undue worry, but she picks up on that without a word being said. Hanako's not well, is she? How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I'd hoped she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school yesterday and seemed out of sorts when I checked up on her. Today she missed school again and just told me to go away. I really got no idea of what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may as well be ruining that she was ever born. The fact that Lily seems so in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well? Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've come, she's barely told me anything about what's happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily, with everything she's gone through. I know. Thank you, Izao. I'm sorry I can't be more of help to you. It's fine. I'll just give it some more thought. Thanks, and have a good time in Scotland. Hmm? It's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Hanako. Okay, bye. Goodbye. And with that, the line goes silent. Amid the seemingly only increased number of questions I can't answer, the most immediate is what Lily was going to say. Oh no. I'm an idiot. She must have thought I was calling to talk to her, but I only asked for help for Hanako. Even more shameful than even more shameful than that thought is the fact that such an appraisal would be largely correct. Well, first things first. For now, I need to at least sort out Hanako and make sure that she's actually eating okay. The occasional passing students give badly hidden glances at the plate of food I carry to the female dormitories. It's hardly a meal to be proud of, only being an instant microwave meal from the convenience store, but it should at least fill her up. Eventually, I arrive outside her room, after having to ward off a couple of girls who jokingly try to pilfer the food I'd taken so long to procure. I decide to forego knocking, since it was proven to be an utterly useless measure, and it's somewhat difficult to do so with my hands full. Hanako, it's Izao. I know you're listening. I got some food for you. Silence, as I expected. I'll leave it beside your door. Please eat it at least, okay? There. I've said my piece. Now it's up to her. Putting the plate down, I walk back to my own room to eat my dinner. By the time I return to Hanako's dormitory, a good hour's passed. Thankfully, there isn't anything to be seen beside her door. I walk past, at least somewhat happier that she's eating. If she intends to get through this by herself, then being able to help, even if it's in such a small way, is at least something. Yippee! So yeah, basically, so basically within Lily's route, we sort of speedrun Hanako's route. So what? Anyway. So yeah, yeah. I don't know. Should I continue? Yeah, I'll continue for a bit more. I sit reading in the library after school, turning page after page, barely registering the words written on each out of sheer boredom. With my cheek resting in my hand, I can't help noticing the slightly rough feeling against my palm. It won't be long before I'll need to get a razor. Giving up on reading, I simply let my head drop onto the book in front of me. Things have quieted down considerably since Hanako began attending school again. When she first returned to class, nothing was said nor done. That wasn't part of the usual routine, and it's been that way since. Neither of us desired to bring up her accident, so there simply wasn't any point in pursuing it. Thus a few days went by, the daily grind continuing just as it had before. It's only natural that my mind would wander to other places, and more importantly, other people. The lily-shaped hole in the daily life of Hanako and me has been pretty noticeable for a while now. I'd be pleased to say that this has allowed me time to refine just what my thoughts on her exactly are, but alas, I've had no such luck. It doesn't help that many attempts to do so have led to the troublesome topic of Iwanako. Every time my thoughts drift into that direction, I reflexively try to think about something else. Why did this have to happen now? I turn and look up to the source of the tentative voice coming up from behind me. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb anyone. That's not it. I glance around the orange-tinted room, quickly realizing how silly my apology must have sounded. In the time I've spent thinking and lazing about it here, everyone's well and truly left. Library closing? If you don't want to go, I could keep it open a bit longer. It's no trouble at all. Don't worry, I should get going anyway. Thanks. As I get up and begin to move off, I feel Yuko's eyes drilling into my back. Is there something wrong? You look depressed. Are you okay? Yuko nervously twists her fingers as she says this, unsure whether she's overstepping her boundaries or not. I really can't tell if she's more worried about my mood or about bothering me. Normally, I just shrug it off and assure her that I'm fine. But my reflective mood gets the better of me. Despite being staff, she really does feel as much as an authority. She really doesn't feel as much as like an authority figure as the others. I guess the best term for it would be relationship problems. Oh, I'm not too good with that kind of thing. My only relationship ended a bit abruptly. But if you want to talk about it, I mean, I could listen, I think. Now I feel kind of bad for bringing it up. She's not that old though, so at least she has a good chance of finding another partner. It isn't like we're in a bad situation right now. We have spent so many days together as friends, sometimes going out to do stuff, that kind of thing. But I'm starting to want to do more for her, learn more about her, to be with her more. I'm not sure whether it's actually love or not though, and our friendship, as it stands, is enjoyable. Shouldn't let that stop you. Sorry. How to say this, I think it's nice that you have a good friendship, but school is going to eventually end. Do you think you'll be fine with not knowing if it could have gone further after you graduated? I guess that's the crux of the problem. I really have no idea what the answer to that question is. Well, I can't really help there. What your true feelings are is something you have to decide for yourself. But I think that if you do love her, you should definitely say something. After thinking about it really hard, I decided even though my relationship didn't work out, it's still better that way than never knowing if I might have or not. Never expected Yuko to sound so wise. It only makes sense that, with more life experience than I, that she'd have a better idea about this. Well, I suppose not very much is actually answered. Talking to her has helped to get it off my chest, and I have no doubt that I should confess if I really do like Lily. I give a slightly frustrated sigh. If only reading so much actually helped when it comes to situations like this. She gives a girlish giggle, which only reinforces my view of her as being different from the usual staff here. In the end, it all comes down to what will happen after school finishes once again. Considering what happened when I came to Yamaku, it feels like being asked to keep up with a field of runners despite having started from a dozen yards behind them. It's just one more motive to move on from the past. The last thing I need right now is to get caught up in that and getting homesick while I'm at it. Once again, I find myself calling Lily. My phone bill is going to be horrific considering this is international, but it's worth it. I don't only want to smooth over her feelings from the last time I called. I genuinely want to talk to her again. When the phone finally picks up, I easily recognize the voice on the other end. Sato. Hello, Miss Sato? May I, speak? Damn, I've forgotten I've forgotten how the rest is supposed to go. It's not encouraging to forget such small amount of words, even if I didn't spend that long trying to memorize them. May I speak with Lily, please? Oh, hello again, Hazao. Are you teaching yourself English? Just a little. I don't think I'm too good at languages in general. Oh, don't say that. Your pronunciation was quite good. I'll get Lily for you. Just wait a moment. I obediently wait as she goes off in search of Lily, the other end going silent. Eventually, a much more awake-sounding Lily than last time answers, the time over there being past noon by now. Hazao, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Hi. Good afternoon. Sorry for taking so long. I was outside in the garden. Gardening? Unfortunately, I'm found no good at it, so I just smell the flowers. I think my fingers appreciate it more. I take it Hanako's recovered a bit? Yeah, I just made sure she was eating, and eventually she righted herself. Thanks for the help the other day. I don't think I was really that much help. The main thing, she's better, though. True. How's life over there, then? It sounds like you've been living in nothing short of a mansion. I wouldn't call it a mansion. But it is rather large, is obviously what she wants to say, though modesty stops her. I'm a little envious, but it is her holiday. It's a nice house to stay in, though. There's a beach near here, too, which Akira's especially fond of. She's a swimmer? She's constantly dragging me there to have swimming competitions, which she wins every time. Lily doesn't strike me as a very athletic at all, so not being adept at swimming seems logical enough. The fastest I've ever seen her move is her understandably relaxed pace during her walks to and from the suburbs down the hill from the school. It makes the image of her swimming hard to imagine. The beaches there must look nice. They'd be less crowded than the ones around here, at least. Indeed. Akira says the area around here looks beautiful, because it's so far outside the city. I only realize what I've said after I say it. But it doesn't bother her at all. It's still easy to forget that she can't see when she's not around, despite the time we've been friends. That said, the local accent sometimes makes communication a bit hard. It's a constant reminder that this isn't home. While the fact that she doesn't consider her parents' residence to be her home makes good sense, it makes me realize that I can't really answer whether the same goes for me. Graduation from Yamaku is distant enough to be difficult to view objectively, and I've spent so much time in this small room, I've come to accept the dormitory as my new home surprisingly quickly. I guess that would be hard to deal with. Is your knowledge of English holding up? Thankfully, I may be fluent, but being in a position where I have to use it often helps in curbing my Japanese accent, so it's been useful practice. I hear you're trying to teach yourself English? More like memorizing a few lines and failing even at that much. I'm not really cut out for learning another language. My admission of defeat draws an amused giggle. I believe that there are things one chooses to do in life, and also things that are chosen for one to do in life. You can take comfort in the fact that you're better in me than science and math, at least. All that's helped is in making me Mutuo Star student. I wouldn't worry about it. They're useful skills for many jobs, right? That's what he tells me. His face veritably lit up when I said I'm probably going to a career following either. We both share a light... We, we both share a warm laugh at the events that have befallen each other on opposite ends of the world. It's nice and reminds me of our simple small talk that I've been missing since she left. As each of us waits for the other to begin speaking, I decide to push ahead with my feelings. I can feel my throat tightening slightly. I miss you. The silent on the other end of the phone tells me she's given the words their due weight. But as it goes on, I can't help feeling more and more apprehensive. Thankfully, the silence ends, almost as quickly as it began. I miss you too, Izao. Goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. Once again, the phone is hung up, simply and without any further ado. That light, tentative, almost shy voice, her warm, soft tone. I'd simply be lying to myself if I were to say that I don't recognize this feeling for what it is. With thoughts of Lily dancing on my mind, I start anticipating her return. Today has been a most excellent day. Yippee! And with that, I think I'm done for today. 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm done. Save. Yeah. Main menu. Yippee. I'm not gonna look at the extra menus yet, but there's the Lily Act 3. So. Yep. Anyways, it's been Dean the Artist. Have a nice day. See y'all later. Goodbye. Tomorrow, I should be able to record some more. Goodbye.